Right, how to stop eating shit, how to stop binge eating. Whenever you've got a question like this, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but I want to understand not how to stop it, but why is it happening in the first place? And what I found when I started looking into it was that I wasn't necessarily craving sugar, craving the food that was calling me into the kitchen at night. I was just craving that dopamine release, something that made me feel a little bit better, that gave me immediate gratification. I'm not going to exaggerate this and imply that I was previously morbidly obese, that I had some sort of major issue that I was dealing with. I've always been pretty in control of my nutrition, but I did go through a stage, a particularly stressful time in my life where I was snacking every single night. So even if I didn't plan ahead and buy something at the supermarket that day, even if I didn't have a snack cupboard that was drawing me in, I was heading down to the convenience store. I'm getting myself that sugary fix, that ice cream, that bag of chips that, let's be honest, we all know we don't need. Realised I already knew that the short-term fix that I was looking for wasn't going to have any sort of real long-term effect. Positive long-term effect, I should say. And as I said, because this was a stressful time in my life, I quickly realised that for me, this was more of a side effect of something more pressing. So my first piece of advice for you guys is, if you find yourself binging at night, if you find yourself hearing that voice in your head calling you into the kitchen, take a step back and think to yourself, why is this happening every single night? Is there something bigger you need to address that might be causing this? Identified if there is or if there isn't, I think the next thing that we need to do is not to lean into snacking at night, not to punish ourselves for snacking at night, but to replace short-term fix with something more positive. It goes without saying, but things like junk food, alcohol, pornography, cigarettes, all of these activities that, yes, give us that dopamine release, that short-term feel-good factor. Got rid of all of them. Now, granted, I've never smoked. I've never been a big drinker, so that wasn't difficult. Porn, on the other hand, that was a difficult one. Come on, Bobby. Stay strong, mate. Stay strong. I have also spent long spells off of social media. You're probably thinking, this isn't what I clicked this video for. Here's what I replaced it with. I have always eaten lots of fruit. I made sure that I always had a fridge full of fruit available to me as opposed to a cupboard full of snacks. Now, binging on fruit at night might not be the best thing, but I think it's going to be a lot better than binging on chocolate. So there's one small transition that you can make in order to satisfy those cravings. Give your body that illusion that it's getting what it wants, but you know you're making a healthier choice. Let's be honest, if you grab an apple from the fridge or if you grab a bag of chips from the fridge and then you just come straight back to the TV and just sit there eating away, it's not going to solve the problem. So another thing I stopped doing was doing mindless things like watching TV. Instead, I replaced it with things that actually stimulated my brain. So I was doing research, I was listening to educational podcasts, even watching YouTube videos, but educational content, not just binge-worthy throwaway content. I found that if I kept my mind off my cravings, then it was easier to stay focused, have a little piece of fruit, satisfy that quick need, and then throw myself headfirst into something else. Become an expert on the Chinese Communist Party. I have looked more into North Korea in the last 6 months than I ever did in the 4 years that I was living in South Korea. Another practical change when anticipating that you're going to get these sugar cravings, guys, is to eat denser, more satiating meals in the day. Or nighttime sugar cravings might not necessarily just be because you're hungry, but you are feeling full. If you are feeling satisfied, it's going to be easier to satisfy those cravings when they come calling. I would always incorporate fruit into my meals to make sure my blood sugar levels were always in balance. If I'm getting that fix of sugar with my meals, it's less likely to be emphasized later on at night. I also got to a point where I would plan my snacks in advance, healthier snacks, things like Greek yogurt mixed with protein, frozen bananas. If you've never tried frozen bananas, guys, you haven't lived. Planning these healthier snacks, these healthier options. When my cravings came, I had something there waiting for me, something that was going to satisfy that need, but not set my diet, set my nutrition completely off track. And finally, guys, and if you're still watching up until this point, thank you very much. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing to the channel. There comes a point where you need to acknowledge that you're giving food too much power and too much control over your feelings. And once you've acknowledged that, you need to come up with a plan of action in order to take some of that power back. Everyone should enjoy the finer things in life from time to time. If your entire social life, friendships, your events where you're celebrating things, your weekends, and just in general, your idea of having fun all revolves around excessive eating and excessive drinking. Number one, I think you need to look at getting some new hobbies. And number two, probably more damningly, you need to look at getting yourself some new friends. If you are in a position where you need to make change, these friends aren't supporting that. It's not their fault because maybe they don't have the same priorities as you. So you need to stop blaming other people. You need to stop making excuses and you need to start being accountable for your own health. You make these bad choices, you are the only person who's suffering. Nobody else cares. If you're not motivated by the aesthetic side of things, that's fine. Once in this video have I made reference to my Greek god chiseled abs because it's irrelevant. And I can tell you from first-hand experience, having a six-pack, having nice muscles doesn't solve all of life's problems. Far from it. Having said that, think about this. If this lifestyle that you're living right now, and if those choices, those binge eating choices, those unhealthy choices are having these effects on the outside of your body, just think about what's happening on the inside of your body and the effects it's having there. If you've made it this far and you don't want to punch me in the face still, again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, plenty of content available on fat loss, building muscle, building an aesthetic, healthy physique. Have a great day everyone, good luck with your personal fitness journey. I hope you can make the changes you need to make in order to move forward. And until next time everybody, thank you, bye bye.